Hi everyone, my name's Claire. I work for a company called Disco. Here we go. Oh, this isn't working. There we go. Today I'm going to be talking about what Disco is and managing your metadata for sync, and also giving a preview of our new artist showcase tool. And then for those who are interested, there'll be the opportunity to sign up for a trial, and we're doing like a special offer for wide days as well. So a little bit more about me. I have been working with Disco for about 6 years, but before that my background was in music supervision and in sync licensing. So licensing music to commercials when I was working as a music supervisor in Australia. Accent is a giveaway. And then before that, working for a company called Believe, pitching music for inclusion in all sorts of things, so TV, film, trailers, and also ads. Onto Disco. So Disco was built by a music supervision company in Australia, the one that I was working for previously. And it's an app that's used to save time, essentially. Because it was built by a supervision company, it's resonated very well with other people in supervision and in sync. In Disco, people can store and organise their music and other media. They can make their tracks metadata rich, which is what we're going to talk a bit more about today. Use our auto-tagging tool to tag creatively. And also use our library tool, so the tags kind of complement the library and make everything searchable. You can create and share professional and secure playlists. You can watermark playlists. You can send email campaigns. Share, I'm just reading now, but share like all or some of your catalogue using Disco libraries. And we also have mobile apps. So basically, rather than having lots of different tools, Disco allows you to consolidate and just use the one thing as your toolkit. Disco is used globally by supervisors, sync agents, labels, publishers, production libraries, people in sync, and also in A&R, marketing, promo, and plugging. Over 9 million playlists are being created in Disco, 60 million files are managed, and it's really become the industry standard for sharing professional-looking playlists. We're proud to work with lots of wonderful music companies and artists and composers. Some of the people we work with, or companies we work with, are UMG, Netflix, Believe, Beggars Group, Centric, BMG, Hypnosis, and loads more. So metadata is one part of what makes a sync pitch work, but there's lots of other elements, so I thought it could be useful just to give a bit more context. And sync is a kind of shortening for synchronization, for those who aren't aware, so synchronization rights. Some of the things that are useful when you as a rights holder are pitching your work to a music supervisor or a broadcaster for sync is to research who you're sending to. It sounds very obvious, but it is an important one, and it can be useful if you know someone's working on a particular kind of show, for example, and they're using certain tracks to pitch those specific works for that show. And as with most things, making the life of your client as easy as possible is always a win. So knowing upfront what rights and territories you can clear your music in, and also knowing if there's certain things or sensitivities that you wouldn't want to pitch for, either for your works or for people who you're representing. Having clean, clear and accurate metadata, including contact info, what we'll go into a bit more detail on. Making your works easy to access, so allowing people a bit of a shoe-in to who you are and what you do. So if they don't know who you are, what's the easiest way for them to find out? Are there certain artists you can kind of refer to, or how can they get there quickly? Responding very fast if someone's issued you with a brief or asked for instrumentals or a WAV. And then providing access to different versions, so having instrumental versions available, lossless files like WAVs and AVs, press kits, video edits, the whole gamut. If you've got it, good to have it at hand and be able to share it, which you can do in Disco conveniently. And then give people what they've asked for. So if you have been sent a brief and someone's asking for something quite specific and it's like a grime track, don't go and send them a folk track. If you do, tell them why you've done that, just because it can be useful, and it's very much a relationship built on trust. So if you're kind of going off brief a lot and not explaining why, that can lead to not being on someone's brief list anymore. So what is metadata? On to the exciting part of the talk. Metadata in the context of sync is a way to identify a song based on data written to the file. So that can be things like artist, composer, track title, album, BPM, release date, and so on. Metadata will generally be embedded in a file if it's an MP3 or an AIF file. WAVs don't typically carry metadata, so that's something to be aware of. In Disco, you can upload a WAV into the platform and it will create an AIF and MP3 for you, which is really handy, and those guys you can then write metadata to. 14 of the most common ID3 fields are in Disco, and you can edit them all within the platform. We also offer auto tagging, as I mentioned, and that'll kind of take care of the creative tags once you've applied the more manual stuff. Metadata done right. So this is an example from Pam at Plutonic Syncs. She's a sync agent and one of the few people I know who is truly passionate about metadata. You can see she's sort of gone to town. These are a couple of screen grabs from Disco. She's got, as well as having like up front her contact information and the rights she can clear. So she's got 100% of the master only. She's also saying, here's the PRS tune code despite not representing that. But she's giving the music supervisor a really quick way to find out how they can license the whole track, both the recording and the publishing rights. She's got reference artists there, so if you like these guys, you might like this. She's got the lyrics, which are searchable. She's got the description in there as well. And then she's used the term easy clear, which a lot of music supervisors like plug into their Disco accounts or otherwise to find stuff when they're in a hurry. So this is a pristine example of metadata. Why is it useful to music supervisors? We can spare a thought for the music supervisors, very time poor people. So often inundated with music and like with a lot of people, time is in short supply. So briefs often need filling quickly. Sometimes people will receive a brief at 10 a.m. and need to send ideas by 3 p.m. Good metadata can help kind of identify the right track in a limited amount of time. And then there's lots and lots of music to choose from, so it just, again, like helps whittle things down to find the right track. If the tracks are fit creatively, music supervisors obviously need to license it, so having that info up front in the metadata rather than having to do a little detective work finding out who owns it is very useful. Tom Stanford, who's a Disco user and a music supervisor in London, has said that they constantly go back to old searches, and if he can see the contact information in a track, then he'll know who to go to. Also, that's particularly important for sync agents because they're not necessarily the original owners of a track, they're just licensing it on the behalf of the label or the artist, so he will know to go to the sync agent rather than the original copyright owner. Cool. I thought it could be helpful to show an example brief. So in this one, we've got that they're looking for something cool, contemporary in the alcohol sector from 2021 onwards. They've got a reference in there, a female vocal. It's cool, street, vibrant. And then they've also got the terms and usage there as well. And then this is Disco, how you would perform that search. So using the tags there. Let's see if I can play it again. Well, no, I'm going back to front. Yeah, here we go. You would think I worked at a tech company. Go back. It's not working. Okay, we'll go here. So you can add metadata in Disco. You can apply all of those key terms that we talked about just by the little eye hover and then view full track info. And then you can also add lyrics. There we go. This is a screen grab of how you can do that in more detail. You can see here too, you've got like writer splits in there and the PRO is mentioned. Again, really useful, just offering as much information as possible up front. And then this is the auto tagging tool and how that works. So you can drag and drop a playlist into the auto tagging section and then it will be populated, the tracks will be populated with tags like so. So things like cool, female vocal, the BPM's applied, moody, dreamy, and so on. So all of that sort of creative stuff is taken away, and you can also complement it with your own terms and remove anything that doesn't feel suitable. In summary, like metadata that's sort of useful to include, first and foremost, comments with your contact information and the rights that you can control. If nothing else, that's the thing to just make sure you've got in there. Track title, artist, album. In the album field, good to say if it's like a compilation, EP or single. Also in the title, worth noting if it's an instrumental or a cover version. And then genre, year, release date, lyrics, artwork. Artwork's a good one actually because you can have obviously the original artwork, but also you can use the artwork of your logo. And that can be a quick visual cue for people to then refer to. And then this is our new artist showcase tool, which I'm hoping will play, yeah. You can already create really kind of glossy playlists in Disco, but this is the next level and it's very artist focused. So now you can include like a hero image, bio, social links to things like Bandcamp, Spotify, SoundCloud, and then a YouTube link in there as well. And then we have the moment of suspense while it loads. You can see what it looks like. So you can see it's a really kind of professionally presented playlist. You've got the YouTube video there, the social links that people can then listen to and learn more. You can click through the waveform, see where there's a build, download MP3, WAV, AIF, or save back to their own Disco account if they're a Disco user. Bob is your uncle, as they say. Cool. If any of this is appealing or interesting, we do offer a free trial with no commitment to sign up. However, if you would like to sign up, there's a special offer for Wide Days attendees. Coupon code is there. It offers you the Pro Plan features, so you can have the WAV AIF converter in there and add all that metadata in. Knock yourself out. If you'd like to stay in touch, my email address is there. Thank you so much for listening and for your time.